Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Raw Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? Well, we got since we've been starting growing, we getting some haters on coming up here with all the trolls and trying to call me operative. I will go ahead and share some things with you. In my progress into black media and being a regular guy who let you feel from the ground of the streets and different area of society, I myself am a Christian. I am a Christian from the Martin Luther King side of the spectrum of Christianity. I'm not one of these extreme right-winger type Christians, okay? But yet, I'm not so Christian that I don't understand the basic principles of Jesus, which is love, and love for all mankind. All right, so let's get that out of the way, because some people are going to say you don't need to listen to this guy because he's a Christian, and we don't need Christian progressives. There is such thing as Christian progressive. Yes, I used to be a Republican as well as I used to be a Democrat. Now I'm independent. I don't take no sides. So for you trollers out there, if you want to continue to troll, I welcome you, baby, because you trolled the wrong one. Because I got a mouth, doc, and I will shout you out, and then I'll delete you, so it don't happen. Another thing I want to talk about up here is I try to have some kind of dialogue with people of all faith, people of all spectrums of society. So please be respectful in the comment section. No cursing people out, things like that. I mean, you can talk about what they're talking about. You can curse that out. Like blank that, but not blank you blankety blank. None of that on this channel, please. Be respectful for one another. Yet, have a vigorous debate. I love it. I love it. So continue to comment. And especially on the on Premiere and the live chat, which I'm just getting into, and I'm really I'm going to get used to it. I will start following back on the chat as we live, like we're talking now. I'll be able to say, hey, Joe, thank you, Joe. You know, I don't know about doing that super chat stuff. I'm not into that. I mean, if you got something you want to say, once I start the live chat and you got something you want to say, I'll probably read it. Shades of my homeboy, Jamal Thomas, and things like that. And last but not least, before we get into the story on Kamala Harris, what was that? Supporting the channel. The best way I could say to support this channel is there is a playlist on the YouTube channel called Get to Know LS. LS is a Justice for All type program that helps people protect their legal rights. And I just want people to get educated with the services. And if you're interested in becoming a member, and you do become a member, some of the proceeds will come here to the Bob TV network and the Raw Report. I believe the best way to support somebody is by allowing me to help you help me. And so I don't want to just ask for anything and not give nothing in return. I think this is the best way to do it, by getting to know LS, the playlist, and get familiar with the services. Not trying to get you to join or connect with anything, but I just want you to get educated in what we do, how we do it so well, and how we've been doing it for over 40 years. But that's up to you. Now let's get into the story. Kamala Harris. Recently, the Huffington Post came out with some information on Kamala Harris's and issues with truancy laws. Now, I'm from Florida, and truancy laws are heavy in Florida. I used to live in Virginia. They're heavy in Virginia, but not to the point of this. This is borderline ridiculous. Watch this.
Were it not for the education I received. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I declare, I have decided I'm going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Now, I don't know how much y'all know about San Francisco politics, but this was a little controversial. And in fact, my staff went bananas because it was before we knew if I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race, and they were like, can't you wait? You're going to bring the wrath of everybody on us? And I said, look, I'm done. And as far as I'm concerned, I've got some political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. Because this is an important issue, and you know what? I'm prepared to be the bad guy. And so here's what we did. I sent out, one of the few perks of being the chief elected law enforcement officer of a major city in this country is that the job comes with a badge. And then there is an artistic rendering of said badge on your stationery. And so I sent a letter out to every parent in the San Francisco Unified School District on my letterhead, showing them the connections between the elementary school truant, the high school dropout, the victim of crime, the perpetrator of crime. And in fact, a friend of mine got the letter and he called me up and he said, "Kamala, my wife got the letter. She freaked out. She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, and said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail." Right? But here's what we also did. We created what I call the DA mediation program. And so what I did is I assigned prosecutors to go and meet with the parents when the principals were meeting with them. And the prosecutors I assigned, I said, when you go over there, look really mean. And so what invariably would happen is the parent would look over and say, well, who's the mean-looking dude? And they'd say, well, that's somebody that mean DA Kamala Harris sent over because she said she's going to start prosecuting you if we can't work this out.
She said based on the study. This is the problem I got with politicians who think that they know everything, that they know everybody, and that they can sum up everything with a study. That's the reason why Kamala Harris is in the position that she's in right now, because I guess focus groups and studies, which she is the darling of, said if you look like Barack Obama and you are female, because to me, I think the reason she's been pushed is because not as a record as a prosecutor, which is horrible, because that's going to stop her. It's the simple fact that she have that good perpendicular talk. She's very poised. She's very beautiful. Just like Barack Obama was a handsome guy. She's a beautiful woman. She's very poised. She's very articulate. She have beautiful, lofty words. She's cocky. To me, she's cocky. There's difference between she's cocky and arrogant. That's, to me, I think she's cocky and arrogant. She's worked her way through the ranks, and that didn't build confidence. That's cocky. The way she said, my staff, and we did the study, and then we did this, and well, the bottom line is this: you can never judge the heart of a kid. You can't never judge the heart of a teenager or an adult. She actually wanted to put fear in the heart of parents that if your child do not show up for school, it's on you and that child. I'm going to lock both of you up. I might just lock up the parent. Then what you going to have? What you going to do with the child? So I guess you got to lock up both the parent and the child. Now, if that ain't authoritarianism, if that ain't exercising your dictatorial rights, which you don't have, that's very controlling. And I can imagine, just by the way she carry herself, that she has to control the situation she's in. And if she's, that's the thing about cops. That's why the hashtag Kamala is a cop. Believe me, I was married to one. My wife was beautiful, short, cutie, but she tried to control everything, including me. I wasn't about to have that, Doc. It wasn't happening. She tried to control the way I dressed while I worked with kids. She tried to control everything about me. And she wanted me to follow her lead when it came to doing things when it come to religious circles. Follow me. I'm not following. Is you crazy? Guarantee you. She ran the pants in that relationship with her husband. Now, why? Because it's a cop thing. A cop got to control their surroundings. You don't be, being a police is not your job. It's who you become. Now, don't get me wrong. We got a lot of great cops. I work with a lot of police officers. And a lot of them love their community and they serve their community. I almost became one. Money's good. Good career, special retirement, housing benefit, everything. There's a benefit to being a police. One that really is there to serve the community and not to get on a power trip or to put parents in jail if their child do not show up for school. Like the parents know that. What parent know their child is skipping school? Most children that are skipping school are not just children that don't want to go to school. They act like they're going to school. They act like school is great. And then on the way to school, they just don't go. And there's various reasons why kids may not go to school. And you're going to put that on the parent? You're going to even try to jail the parent? Is you crazy? This woman can't be president, man. Everybody talking about Trump, and Trump is horrible. But Trump, when it comes to law enforcement, is nowhere near and nowhere will be near as Kamala Harris. She said her friends, her co-workers were nervous. Yeah, because they might have kids and their kids may not show up for school. And then you're going to put them in jail? And it's fine for you, Kamala. How many kids you got? What do you know what it's like to be a parent? Now, I think you do have some kids through a marriage. All right, so in the Huffington Post, it did an article on Kamala Harris and this very situation that she's in right now about the truancy. Now, this is nothing to joke with because, as I said, you got to understand this. Kamala Harris has no children of her own. She have children through this marriage that she has right now. Her husband, Douglas Emhoff, who is a lawyer himself, formerly used to work a partnership with Venable Bajer and Howard LLP. He has kids. He has one in college and one in high school. Now, I'm quite sure that these children are not living with them too. 9 times 10, these children probably live with their mother. So Kamala Harris is not in the position where she has to monitor these children. This woman has no idea what it's like to be a parent. I don't think her sister has any kids. And if she do, she's not taking care of her sister's kids. So here she is, the single woman recently getting married. I think she was single back then when this happened. She was dating, but I think she got married in 2016 or something like that. This lady who has no children got the nerves to be condescending and cocky and trying to control the parents in that area because of some statistics that she heard, that she gathered. She don't know the heart of a man and a woman. She don't know the fire of a single parent or two parents that's trying to make ends meet. No. She got her position. She's making good money. She's probably detached from that, even though she's saying that she is. If you were attached to this, Miss Harris, you wouldn't even put this kind of pressure on parents. I can see truancy laws for the children if they do something, put them in night school or something like that. That's what normally happens. And yeah, you have your statistic. That doesn't mean it's 100% true, but it may lead to that. But there's other ways to do it. This is borderline authoritarian. This is borderline dictatorship. You're going to try to take control of the situation by pressuring the parents, trying to control them to control their kids when you ain't never been a parent and you don't have no kids. How condescending can you be? She going to apply this pressure on them to stay up with your children, when no parent really can try to 100% keep up with the children. No matter how much pressure you put on them, they can't control the kids. So she's going to use fear tactics, which is normally known through Republican circles, to try to control the situation. That is what Hitler did. That is what Mussolini did. That is what Stalin did. That's what they claim Assad do. Or, I mean, I can go on with the whole list, baby. This is a signal to what these people are trying to push into office. I mean, Trump is bad, but you don't put nothing in there like this either. I believe a child going without an education is a tantamount crime, as she said in the video. Harris says in the video, so I decided not my council, not the city council, not a town hall talking to the parents about the situation. I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. The nerves of you, you cocky, arrogant out of touch. And just to be frank with you people who say you're a racist, you gonna say I'm a racist, really? Well, you're a sexist. It don't matter. I don't care if it was a man. I don't care if it was Eric Holder. If he was doing this, I would call him out too. And if you're any man doing this, you need to be called out to a carpet. You're a foolish man for doing this. This is a foolish act. She decided herself that she was going to start prosecuting parents if their children decide not to show up for school. But let me continue to read. She's described an incident when she charged a homeless woman who was working 2 jobs. 2 jobs. Why is she working 2 jobs? Because she ain't got no money to pay the bills. She want to provide for her kids, her 3 kids. My mom was in the same situation. We weren't homeless because my mom bust her butt to work multiple jobs to keep food on the table. She had people watching us, but those people couldn't watch us 100%. Sometimes I stayed out to about 1, 2 o'clock if my mom was working. It's not my mom's fault. Punish me, don't punish my mom. She got the nerve to say she just needed some help. So the woman was charged. By shining this inflated spotlight of public safety on the fact that her children aren't in school, we were able to figure that out. Get her access to services that exist, and through that process, the attendance of the children improved. We dismissed the charges against her, and overall, we've improved attendance in the population of San Francisco by 20% over the last 2 years. In other words, for me to force fear on you, charge you with the ability to put you in jail, and I heard in some cases, some people actually went to jail. Heard, I can't say that, but that's besides the point. You're going to instill fear to try to control people to control their children when you never had children yourself. Why do you have to go to this measure to provide help and assistance to a parent? You should always have that available without going to these levels. So in order for her to try to control a population, control a demographic, let's use fear. Let's scare the crap out of them. Let's come up with a program. Let's meet with all the parents. I need all you guys from the gang division, the homicide division, all that to come in there and scare the crap out of them. Let's do a scared straight program with the parents before we have to do a scared straight program. I understand the logic, but using fear, it improved 20%. How come it improved 100%? Why didn't it improve 50%, Kamala Harris? Because fear doesn't work. You're putting fear in parents, and you've never been a parent yourself. You don't know what this lady going through. She's homeless, working 2 jobs. How about helping her get a home? Helping her kids get in certain programs, after school programs like they do here in New York. How about you do that? How about you work with the city council to help fund more after school program that can take up the slack while mom work? So mom working 1 job during the day and she working another job at night. Why don't you put them in the after school program? And give mom the ability to come pick the kids up after the after school program. That way the study is done, the schoolwork is complete, and all they can do is go home, take a shower. That's what they do here in New York. Why you're not doing this? No, they're not using fear tactics like this, not that I know of. And if they did, these parents in New York will go and have your head and make sure your butt don't get elected again. And that's what I'm saying now. That's why I'm telling Roland Martin and any other person, any other these Democratic hacks, get a hold of your girl. Get to know your girl and stop running your mouth. Get to know her record. This is something right now that is happening, that has happened, words out of her own mouth. I use fear tactics, me, a single woman with no kids, use fear tactics on single parents who have 3 kids, charged her, maybe put her in jail. Who knows? I don't know. I heard she did put some people in jail. But that's not the point. You're using fear tactics to try to control a certain demographic of a population as district attorney. And I can imagine what you did when you were attorney general. And imagine what you would probably do if you're a president. In the speech Harris laughed about sending her office homicide and gang prosecutors in San Francisco schools to meet with parents and administrators who were discussing the truant student. Harris, who announced her 2020 bid on January 21st, has begun to face criticism, and rightly so, for her actions as prosecutor, including truancy initiative, as critics pointed out that it predominantly affected the poor community and communities of color. So if you're poor, it doesn't matter whether you're red, yellow, white, or black, that was to target you if you're a parent. If you're a community color, it was to target you if you're a parent. Why? Because in their case study, maybe the white parents had it, who have money, middle class and upper middle class, had the money where they work one job and stay home with the kids. Or one parent stayed home. It's not that way in our community. And you adding fear is not going to change that. She believed a critical way to keep kids out of jail when they are older is to keep them in school when they're young. A campaign spokesman told Huffington Post on Tuesday. Harris' campaign pointed to the social service aspect of the initiative, saying that the arrest and the other interaction with the criminal justice system were minimum, and that the initiative forced schools to work more closely with parents on struggling children and supported those parents too. When Harris was Attorney General, several parents were arrested for their kids' chronic truancy. In a town hall on CNN on Monday, she defended her criminal justice background, asked about her contradictory career as a prosecutor, and she had the nerve to say, "I've been consistent my whole career."
You have made criminal justice reform one of the main things you're talking about as a candidate. And you're also running on your record as a prosecutor in San Francisco and as the Attorney General of California. Riley Fink over here has a question about that. He's a senior here at Drake University studying political science. Riley?
Good evening, Senator. Thank you for being here. You position yourself as aligned with the progressive movement to make criminal justice less punitive and racist. Yet your record as a prosecutor shows that you embrace the tough on crime mentality. You've defended California's death penalty, and as California's Attorney General, your office opposed the release of nonviolent prisoners and violated the constitutional rights of various drug defendants. How do you reconcile your contradictory past with what you claim to support today?
I've been consistent my whole career.
Consistently on the area of injustice in that department more than justice for the people. And you got the nerves to name your campaign Kamala Harris for the people. This is what not for the people. Yes, it was tough love. You are not a parent, so how are you to try to do a tough love situation on somebody about them being a parent and trying to control their kids when you ain't never been one? Deeply flawed. This is what she told the young gentleman at the town hall. Look, people, the bottom line is this. This young lady, Kamala Harris, as they say in the hashtag, she's a cop. She's taken on the cop mentality. For somebody who never went to the academy, never really did a beat, never become a detective, she got her way somehow to be district attorney. And as district attorney, she used the iron fist to make things happen. Not having community meetings, not talking to the community with love and compassion. She used fear tactics to try to control a demographic, try to control a community. This will get them. You want to cut down? You want to cut down the truancy? You want to cut down kids skipping school? Let's use fear, number one. Let's scare the crap out of the parents. And maybe that'll do it. And if they don't listen, let's throw them in jail. Not understanding, baby, Kamala Harris and anybody else that's Kamala Harris fan, you can't escape this. This happening, you heard it from your own mouth. We need stuff like that. No, we don't. This is supposed to be America, the home of the free. Let the parents be the parents. If they ask for your help, then let them ask for the help. And give it to them. Have some kind of program that can help these kids out to keep them from going to school. When I came up, you skip school, you get caught, you go to night school. You're not going nowhere. You're not going to go any further. And going to night school was worse than going through day school. But, you don't understand where she at. She in San Francisco, there's a lot of gangs and things like that. Let me tell you something. If the gangs want to get to your kids, they're going to get to your kids in school. Because some of the gang members are in school. Think about that. So no matter how many statistics you get, no matter how many focus group, you can't use that to control people. And like I said, if she done this in the past, she'll probably do it now. She'll probably do it in the future if she had the ability to do it. Now she's in a position she can't do nothing of her own decision because she said, I decided when she was district attorney. And she probably decided when she was attorney general she could make those moves. There's no real check and balances like that on the attorney general. As Congress, she can decide, but it got to be voted with the majority. So she can push nothing like this. The people that have her hide. But as president, she can. And she do not need Congress. She can do an executive order. She has the power of her own pen. Folks, this is a signal to let you know who she is. She's very controlling. And my summation of Kamala Harris so far, it has nothing to do with her being a woman. Like I said, I want a woman to be president one day just to shadow record. And sometimes women are a little more sensitive and more compassionate than some of these dumb men that run for office. I'd rather have a mother's heart in the White House and the mother treat her country like it comes from her very own womb, nurturing. And there's people like Jill Stein. You got Nina Turner. You got Tulsi Gabbard. You could tell that they got a heart of compassion, despite, some of the decisions they made that you may not agree with it. The heart of compassion is in their heart. It's in them. This person right here is a law enforcement officer to the T, a prosecutor who built her career as a prosecutor, as a district attorney who is just an ultra high level of prosecutor with a little more juice, and then eventually top cop of California, the attorney general. Now, I will talk about her Medicare. That's going to be another segment. How if she was really for Medicare all, she would have scalded Anthony Rendon when he decided not to vote for Medicare for all for California. Her state, whom she was the attorney general, like she said, whom she got political capital that she could have used against Anthony Rendon. And you want me to think that she for Medicare for all? Get out of here. She would have scalded him and put him in check. Like she putting these parents in check. Get out of here. Anyway, I'm done with this. This lady, this person who wants to be president, made a decision on her own to inflict fear or to incite fear in the poor community, in the black community, in the Hispanic community, in the Vietnamese, in the Asian community. She struck fear in their heart that if your child skips school, we coming after you. As if I really know that they're skipping school. I wouldn't know until the teacher called me. And I dropped them off at school. They went inside the school and somehow they still left. What can I do about that? I can't do nothing about that. And there's nothing they can do about it. They can beat them. They can discipline them. It still ain't going to stop them. And you're going to put them in jail. You can put them in jail. It still may not stop them. The way you reach out to people, Miss Harris, is not trying to cop them. Not trying to police them. Not trying to control them. But the way you get to a person's heart and mind is through love and compassionate. And this is not a love and compassion policy. And if you think I'm going to vote you in to do something stupid like this, which I know you did. See, I look at what you did in the past, what you're doing now, is probably what you're going to do in the future. True change have to come from the heart, not for political capital. See, that's what happened. You're trying to co-opt Bernie Sanders' movement, and it ain't yours. And you try to make it look like it's yours, and it's not. This is your movement, top cop, law enforcement officer, and you want to bring that to the White House. And I'm not going to vote for that. Really? You throwing parents in jail? You charging parents for a crime? And you ain't never been a parent yourself to understand what they go through? Get out of here, man. Get out of here.